I never knew that there were two separate schedules. I thought when you go to school, they give you a list of all the vaccinations that the child needs before they can go into school. And I always have to reference the children because I have kids, and so that's what we did, and that's what my mom did to me. So they always give you a schedule. I did not know that there was a schedule that the school recommends because I don't know if they follow the CDC?
Yes.
And then there's also vaccinations, which I have recently dealing with right now. Just recently took my youngest to the doctor, and she said, okay, it's time for your daughter's HPV shot, and it is time for your daughter's second meningitis. Well, thanks to COVID, I go to, which they can't stand it in the medical field, I go to Dr. Google, and I'm like, what's in these vaccinations, because I know there's some stuff that's in aluminum, and I wanted to see what was in them now, because I think so much has changed from when I had mine. I'm 42 years old, and so there's two types of schedules. I did not know that. I've asked some other parents if they knew that there was a different schedule. I was kind of shocked and taken back that I was recommended these two other vaccinations, and then come to find out the school's not recommending them. So the parents most parents don't even know that there's two specific schedules, and they're called schedules.
Yes, so there is obviously there's the CDC schedule. Those are the vaccines that the CDC universally recommends for all children. And then in Texas, we have the schedule for what is recommended for school enrollment. And it is different. It's not drastically different, but it is different. For instance, to your point, the HPV is not required for school. The flu shot's not required for school. There's a handful of others, but it's mostly the same as the CDC schedule. But to your point, parents are not informed if they are wanting to just satisfy the school enrollment requirements. Then they're most likely not getting informed consent on that in their doctor's office when they take their kids in, because there are some variations between the CDC schedule and what's on the list of shots for school in Texas.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second, because something happened when I was living in California, and I talked to a lot of parents that live down at the border of Texas. We had such an influx of people coming from illegally crossing into the state of Texas. They're bringing in all these different diseases to our states, and some of the physicians, I even had this recommended to myself, not myself, but to my daughter back in California, and it's happening down in South Texas. Some of the pediatricians are recommending additional, I don't even know if they're boosters, but getting extra shots to be able to ward off some of these issues that are coming across the border. Have you heard of this taking place even in the state of Texas? I know it's happening there. It's starting to slowly happen here, but have y'all looked into any of that?
I haven't heard of that happening. It would be
more so measles. It was the measles that they were trying to get us to do.
Well, I remember during that 2014, the Disney measles, that just triggered so much legislation across the state, and really is what birthed Texans for Vaccine Choice. But
really?
Yes, it's a great story. But I know that in moments of, kind of an outbreak, they will recommend additional vaccines. But regularly, I have not heard of that happening regularly in our southern counties in Texas yet. It would be highly unusual in a non, epidemic or outbreak circumstance, because those aren't on the schedule. It's probably not happening as regularly here just because there's not the emergent outbreaks happening, even though the talking heads predict it happening every year without fail. The sky is falling, measles is back, polio is back, all these things are back. It never materializes.
That's what it seems. That's really kind of like what they made it seem like. They put like the fear of God in you.